Makoto Shinkai's Suzume, about a girl cracking these doors at places of big disasters. Weathering with You, it's all about floods. Your Name, there's a comet in the sky. Animes typically are one-off, standalone stories. Could this be what ties these movies together? And so I think I'm just going to accept that that's the case. Typically, that doesn't happen. Suzume finally hit theaters a week ago, 2 weeks
The
ago?
girl with the chair.
The girl with the chair. I was gonna do like.
I'm so sorry.
I was gonna do like a girl with the dragon tattoo.
Oh, the girl with the chair.
Yeah, but like I didn't want to say chair tattoo, and so I just stopped. I just stopped the chair, and I was like, I just said the exact same thing Maggie just said.
Yeah.
So it just
I was
is what it
wondering. I
is.
was like, what are you doing?
Yeah. So Makoto Shinkai's brand new movie that finally hit American shores. For those who may not know, Makoto Shinkai, of course, directed my favorite movie of all time, Your Name. Of course, love Your Name. Then, of course, he. How many times am I gonna say? Of course.
I love Your Name, Matt.
Oh, I thought you meant the movie.
No.
Well, I love Your Name too, Maggie. It's my favorite movie. Matt. But he followed it up with Weathering with You, which came out in 2020, right before the world ended.
Yep.
And I mean, I really enjoyed Weathering with You. Not as much as Your Name, but it was, you know, I did enjoy it. And there was a couple of reasons I really enjoyed it, but I won't talk about that because we don't want to get into spoilers for Weathering with You. But I really liked it. And then, so, you know, been waiting on his brand new movie, Suzume. And ever since the first time we heard about it, when they first started talking about what the plot of Suzume is and how it's about a girl, and like not even tracking down, but like how, like she finds or like there's these doors that are at places of like big disasters, right? So my brain just starts going wild. I'm like,
good God.
Oh my God, is this the linchpin that ties everything together?
I feel like he's the gif of Charlie Day from Always Sunny.
Because like one of the things about Makoto Shinkai that if you don't know, is that some of his movies tend to deal with some sort of disaster element in one way or another. And so like Weathering with You, it's all about like floods, right? Mm-hmm. Your Name, there's like a comet in the sky.
Yeah.
And so like this, you know, I was thinking like, could this be what ties these movies together? Like, you know, these big things.
Yeah.
And like, especially like this image here specifically where like the water and it's like a rundown city or a rundown building and stuff. Like my brain just starts going crazy because I'm like, oh my God.
That's Your Name.
Yeah. I'm like, is this Weathering with You? Is this Your Name? Like, oh my God, you know? Almost to the point of maybe I probably hindered myself watching the movie. Not because I was waiting for that, but like I was looking for that, and I almost didn't. Like I almost didn't give it its own space, you know, which is definitely on me for sure. I did enjoy Suzume a lot. I think I probably like it. I mean, Your Name is still my favorite, of course, but I would say I like it more than Weathering with You. And I won't get there, don't worry. Well, I'll give you your time to shine, baby. But I definitely enjoyed it. I think from here on, my plan, if I will let myself, is to just not expect that, because now we have had one that did not tie into anything, and I will leave it at that. And so I think I'm just going to accept that that's the case. Like, typically that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
You know, animes typically are just one-off standalone stories. You know, it's not like an MCU.
Sometimes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, if it's a part of a franchise or whatever, sure.
Yeah.
Like a Dragon Ball or something. But like, you know, like the Ghibli movies don't all connect. You know?
No, there's only two, and it was about the cat.
Yeah. And I mean, and there's a direct thing, you know. Yeah. It's not like, I mean,
the cat comes
there are reoccurring themes, but they're not like straight up sequels to each other.
Yeah.
Right. And so, Like, you wouldn't watch Totoro and then watch Spirited Away and be like, oh, see, it's in the same universe.
They're in
I mean, it could be, but it's not. Like, they don't say it specifically.
Or you could say Totoro and Princess Mononoke's in the same.
Yeah, because
they're four spirits.
Think about it. Anyway,
we don't need to.
So with Suzume, I think this for me felt like Makoto Shinkai's, like he was a step closer on the Ghibli side of things, whereas I'm definitely, when it comes to anime, I'm much more on the slice of life stuff.
Yeah.
Like I really enjoy like Horimiya, Yuri on Ice. Of course, there's a piece of me that loves, Digimon, Dragon Ball Z, of course, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm much more prefer like, the intertwining of relationships and all the multiples of characters that are at play, at any given time, and like the emotional breakthroughs and just the beautiful vistas that'll be shown, and especially you throw in one of those flower petals. What are they called?
Cherry blossom?
Yeah. You throw in some of those on there, boom, I'm there. I'm there, man. You make it look great.
Oh, dang. I need to make you watch some Sailor Moon movies.
Yeah,
those suckers are everywhere.
What was that other one? Ride Your Wave? So I usually like my anime to have like a little bit of like a hint of something supernatural-ish, right? Or sci-fi-ish.
Yeah.
But that's not like the primary focus. Like the primary focus is the people. Right?
Yeah.
That's usually what I like. This very much is partially that, but much more closer to a Ghibli film where it's like just straight up, there is just this thing that is mystical or magical or whatever. Right. And so for me, that's why I would put this where I put it. I really enjoyed it. I think the emotional payoff in the end didn't quite work for me because it left me with more questions than I felt it left me with a feeling of like satisfaction. Like I appreciate what he was trying to say, and obviously I'm not going to give spoilers. I appreciate what he's trying to say. I think it was a great message, and I think that the plot of the entire movie and like how we're going into different communities and things. I feel like that was, in my reading of it, was that it was inspired a lot by the pandemic,
Yeah.
And not so much like literally calling it out, but just how people need people.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that, depending on the kindness of strangers, if you want to put it, such a fine point on it. But like that, I felt a lot through those things, right?
Yeah.
And it just felt like an odyssey, like we were on this trip, and where we ended up was the final destination of the story, and that is the story. It's just this trip, right?
Yeah.
And like for me, that's great, but that's not. Again, that's not really. I wanted something a little bit more intertwined.
Yeah.
Especially with the yellow chair aspect of it. I'm not going to say anything. Like that left me like I could have used a little bit more. Not build up, but just a little bit more like I didn't feel like that was earned. Like the caring for the yellow chair. I didn't feel like that really got earned, and like I could have used a little bit more build up of that. Like, you think about Your Name, and like there's a whole half of a movie to build up, right? Before we start realizing like, oh shit, okay. And in this, it's just like, sure, she loves her yellow chair, So I don't know. That's a very spoiler-free version of everything I'm trying to say. Visually, he knocked it out of the park. Always. I mean, every time he does anything, it's just absolutely beautiful. I would recommend if you enjoy anime, I would definitely recommend watching this. I think it's a fantastic movie. If you're not a fan of anime, this would not be the movie I would say to check out to get you into anime. Like I would say watch Your Name. I think Your Name is the most crossover viable option for people. Like, it's a very easy movie for people to watch who don't normally give animated movies a second thought outside of a kid's movie. You know what I mean? So, like, I would recommend that, you know. But, like, if you've watched Your Name and you loved it and you want something else, yeah, I would say check out Suzume. Like, absolutely. I think there's no reason to not watch it. I really liked it. I did not cry. So, you know, earlier we talked about my ranking. Crying, I give it a 5 out of 5. I did not cry, so. But I really liked it. Maggie, set me straight.
All right. For the people that love Fruits Basket, not really fairy tale. Howl's Moving Castle. Maybe Kiki's Delivery Service. But I see more Howl's Moving Castle. If you like some kind of mystical factor into stuff.
If you like Ghibli.
If you like Ghibli. I'm trying to get.
Yeah.
So this would be for you. I love this. This is my favorite out of the 3. And Matt thinks it's blasphemy.
I don't think it's blasphemy. I'm just surprised. That's
know.
all.
This is my Your Name. This is Suzume's mine. I really loved it because I really loved everything about it. And it's something that if it was a show, I would be all in it. I'll be all up in it.
Honestly, I think the story could have actually played out better as a show.
I could see that.
Even just like a 12 episode.
Yeah, it could have.
Mini,
It could have. But
I feel like that build up for the chair that I was talking about, I think they could have accomplished that more.
Yeah. But to me, about that part,
yeah.
Sometimes they don't do that in some animes, and and I was just okay with it because in Howl's Moving Castle, they kind of do a similar thing because you're like, are you really you gonna be? You're in love with? Okay, well, I'll take it. I don't blame you. I would be in love with the. I think he's a wizard. I'd be in love with him too.
Big old feathered
Batman.
Play that Christian Bale.
Yeah, it is Christian Bale. Also, we saw this subbed, by the way. We saw Japanese. Yeah. Which was really good.
That's typically the way I prefer.
I know.
Just to get that.
I just wanted to throw that out there that we got to say like
totally.
that.
And nothing against that.
No, nothing against it. I mean, we watch it either way, so.
I mean, it's basically like if I can give my entire attention to it, then I want to watch it subbed. If it's something like we're eating or Viv's still up, then I want to watch it dubbed so that I don't, because I may not be able to read everything.
Pretty certain I watched a good half of Fairy Tale in Japanese.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I picked
up a lot.
I tried to watch Digimon Adventure Tri in Japanese, and I couldn't get
hard.
it. Just because I was so used to the 90s one. It was really hard.
It's hard to... Because I was the same way. Whenever I found the last season of the 90s Sailor Moon on YouTube, because they never dubbed it in the U.S., watching it in Japanese, it took me a good minute to get used to it.
Because the voices, I mean, it's just so different.
And they're so distinct in your mind.
Yeah.
But, anyways, back to the point. If you like Howl's Moving Castle and Fruits Basket, because it's got that, relationships with different people, but there's also that mystical element to it.
And I can be wrong. I feel like Fruits Basket is closer to Your Name than those. I feel like the mystical elements in Fruits Basket is... I mean, it's much more about the relationship than the mystical.
I know, but I'm just saying how... Oh, God, I'm about to call her Kagome. That's from Inuyasha. There's one that's probably closer to Your Name because she hops in a well and goes back in time. And Fruits Basket, that I can't think of her name. It's going to drive me insane. The main girl, she is nothing until she meets the family. And she finds out that they're part of the Zodiac and that they can turn into the Zodiac animals. And she meets so many different...
Taru?
Taru, yeah. She meets so many family members that's not even in the house she lives in, but outside of it, that she makes a connection with. That's what makes me think of this.
Yeah.
Because of how she made connections.
Okay. Okay, I gotcha.
So that's where my brain's at.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you, I mean, I'm assuming you'd recommend this.
Oh, yeah, I definitely recommend it.
How would you feel about people, like, would you recommend this as the intro to anime?
I mean, depends on the person.
Yeah.
If you like...
I mean, let's say they're very much never wanted to check out anime.
I really wouldn't want to spook them with this one. I wouldn't. I think this would be a lot.
Yeah.
If they've never really truly experienced an anime before or have tried one, but they tried the wrong one.
Yeah.
That happens.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't necessarily throw this one at somebody right off the get-go. I think this would be not necessarily too much, but I think if they haven't experienced a movie like this, I think it would probably confuse them.
Yeah.
If they're not used to... If they haven't heard about Japanese
lore and culture.
Lore and stuff, yeah.
Especially when it comes to, like, underworld stuff.
Yeah.
You know. Like that, I can definitely see that being confusing.
Yes.
In specifically that aspect, it reminded me a lot of Princess Mononoke.
Yeah, it did.
Like a lot.
A lot.
Yeah. But it also reminded me of, I cannot remember that other movie. Was it The Children Who Chase Lost Voices or something like that?
Yes.
His older movie. Where like she's in the underworld or whatever, and like that was reminding me a lot of that movie, which felt like a very Ghibli movie of his. Like, but it was like just straight up that. It wasn't like kind of a mix of both.
Yeah.
I think really, honestly, in my opinion, I feel like Makoto Shinkai really hits well when he's balancing those two against each other. You know, like I think that's really where he shines.
Yeah.
As opposed to just doing a straight, you know,
I think that's
slice
why
of life or a straight, you know, mystical.
That's why I like it so much. It's, well, not basically Princess Mononoke, but
very similar.
Very similar.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a modern.
Yeah.
Yeah. I loved it.
I loved it.
You know, I thought it was really good.